Hi everyone, Alex here. Hope you're having a great day as always. I'm going to talk today a little bit about hopelessness and, in particular, how hopelessness can get in the way of people accessing help for their mental health and well-being. Okay, so by hopelessness, what I mean is, this sort of belief process of nothing's going to work, no one can help me, this sort of belief that things can't get better and there's nobody who could provide any guidance or expertise to change things for you, right? So I meet a lot of people who are at this place when they come to see me, and maybe they've come to see me because they've been encouraged by somebody else. Maybe they don't even really want to be here, or they don't really think it's going to help, but they're like, oh, look, I agreed to do this because my mom told me to, or my partner wanted me to, but I don't really think it's going to help. Sometimes past bad experiences can add to that. I've spoken about that in a previous vlog about how if we've had bad experiences with help seeking, that can sometimes, add to that hopelessness. Some people have tried a lot of self-help before they come and see a professional like myself. So they might have read books or tried different things. And that stuff can be really helpful, but with certain mental health conditions, it's probably going to need more than that to really get a good outcome. For example, if you're having, pretty severe anxiety or panic attacks, or if there's self-harm involved, you're probably going to need more than a book to help you get through it, right? And to learn some different ways to deal with it. So what do we do, if you are struggling with this sense of hopelessness, or if you know somebody who's struggling with this, what can we do? So I'm just going to tell you what I say to people when they present this way in my office, or they call me up, or, sometimes parents will call me and say, I want my teenager to come and see you, but they don't want to. What can I say to them? This is the spiel I would usually give, right? I would usually say something like, look, you know, it sounds like you're in a lot of pain, right? So, like, things are not feeling good in your life at the moment, whether they're feeling anxious, or whether they're feeling down, or whether they're just not themselves. I would acknowledge that, and I would say, look, it seems like you're not feeling great lately, and that's not really okay. You deserve to feel good in your life. We're not all happy all the time, but, it shouldn't be more of a struggle than it needs to be. Why don't you give some therapy a go? And if it doesn't help, it doesn't help. There's not much lost, right? You might be out of pocket a few dollars, but, other than that, it's a bit of a time commitment. But other than that, you can always go back to the way things are now. Right? So if you give therapy a go, and I generally say to people, you know what, give it a good 3 months, right? Don't expect to go to one session and immediately like everything's resolved, okay? However, you should feel after the first session that, oh, okay, I think I could trust this person. I think that they understand me. This might help. But, you need to give it a really good go if you want to make significant changes, and there's some really significant things that you want to change. So if you've had anxiety for the past 5 years, 3 months is nothing to treat that. And for most people, 3 months, if you're going to fortnightly sessions for 3 months, you can expect that there will be a significant improvement in your anxiety in that time. It won't be totally gone, but definitely an improvement. Or if self-harm is an issue, or if suicidal thoughts are an issue, and they've been an issue for a while, give it a good 3 months, because that allows you to learn some different concepts, get to know your therapist and hopefully feel comfortable, form a bit of a relationship, and also start to use new strategies to see if you can make a shift, right? So when you think about, and I would say, okay, so how long have you been feeling unhappy in your life, or how long have you been struggling with these symptoms? And, people are going to say longer than 3 months, right? They're going to say years usually. Or some people I see say, I've always felt this way. So, all right, so give it 3 months. It's a drop in the ocean compared to all this time you've been struggling with it, and see what happens. The other thing I say to people is, if they've tried other treatments before and haven't got a great deal of success, I would say, well, you might want to try the treatment that the research shows is going to be most effective for you, right? If you haven't tried that yet, then you haven't really tried everything, yeah? Because sometimes people say to me, I've tried everything. Well, no, you probably haven't, right? I do DBT therapy, and most people I see have never done DBT therapy. And particularly if they're coming to me for something like self harm or chronic suicidal thoughts, I'll say, well, DBT has been shown in the research overwhelmingly to be the gold standard treatment for these types of issues. And if you haven't tried that yet, maybe that's a really good idea. Try the thing that supposedly works the best and throw 3 months at it and let's see. You can always go back to where you are now if you want to. So, for example, if someone comes to me and they're like, I'm, doing a lot of self harm and I want that to stop, or I'm feeling really suicidal and, I want that to stop. And I say, all right, well, give it 3 months. You can always go back to those behaviors if you want to. Okay. And that's sort of confronting to say to somebody, look, for 3 months, just take your suicidal plan like out of the mix, right? Commit to trying 3 months. You can always go back to it if you want. I know that sounds confronting, but it's actually true. And if you've been struggling with this for like your whole life, 3 months is nothing, right? So, those are the sorts of things I would say to people. I'd say, it's not quick and instant, but give it a fair amount of time and then compare that with how long you've been feeling down, right? And if it doesn't help or it doesn't work, you can always go back to where you are now. If people come to me and, maybe they're struggling with something that's not my specialty or something that DBT is not best at addressing, like say it's somebody, who's struggling with things around, autism or on the spectrum there, or, different things that aren't up my alley, I'll generally say to them, well, maybe you should look into that. Maybe you should do some research and find out what is the gold standard in treatment for your particular issue, and then get into that treatment, right? Find that person. And again, watch my other vlogs if you're concerned about money and time and all those other things. But really, making it a priority for that 3 months and see if something can shift. Okay. So as always, thank you for watching and let me know if you have any questions or comments. All right. Bye, guys.